Chapter 12. It makes no sense. None. It's crazy, whichever way you look at it. Was Charles Reese really Uncle Bill? And why would he visit Sadie? Why would he use a fake name? And why wouldn't he mention it? And as for the idea that he might have had anything to do with her necklace disappearing, I mean, hello. He's a multimillionaire. Why would he need some old necklace? I feel like banging my head against the window to make all the pieces fall into place. But since at this very minute I'm sitting in a plushy, chauffeur-driven limo provided by Uncle Bill, I probably won't. Just to get this far has been a total hassle. I don't want to jeopardize things. I've never phoned up Uncle Bill in my life, so at first I wasn't sure how to get in touch with him. Obviously, I couldn't ask Mom or Dad, or they'd want to know why I needed to see Uncle Bill and why I had been visiting Sadie's nursing home. And what I was talking about, what necklace. So I rang LinkedIn's head office, eventually persuaded someone that I was for real. Got through to one of the assistants and asked if I could make an appointment to see Uncle Bill. It was as if I'd asked to see the president. Within the hour, about 6 assistants started sending me emails, coordinating a time, changing the location, organizing a car, asking me to bring ID, telling me I couldn't overrun my slot, asking what LinkedIn's beverage I prefer in the car. All for a 10-minute meeting. The car is pretty rock star, I have to admit. It's got 2 rows of seats facing each other, and a TV, and a chilled strawberry smoothie, which was waiting for me just like I'd asked for. I'd be more grateful, except that Dad once said Uncle Bill always sends cars for people so that the minute he's had enough of them, he can send them away again. William and Michael, Sadie pipes up thoughtfully from the seat opposite. I left everything to those boys in my will. Oh, right, I nod. Yes, I think I heard that. Well, I hope they were grateful. There must have been a fair amount. Loads, I hastily remembering a conversation I once heard between Mom and Dad. Apparently everything was swallowed up by the nursing home fees, but Sadie wouldn't want to hear that, and they were really thrilled. So they should be. She sits back in satisfaction. A moment later, the car pulls off the road and approaches a pair of enormous gates. As the car stops by the gatehouse and a security guard approaches, Sadie peers past me at the mansion. Goodness, she looks at me uncertainly, as though someone must be playing a joke. It's a rather large house. How on earth did he become so rich? I told you, I say under my breath as I give my passport to the driver. He hands it to the security guard and they confer as though I'm some sort of terrorist. You said he ran coffee shops. Sadie wrinkles her nose. Yes, thousands of them, all around the world. He's really famous. There's a pause and Sadie says, I should have liked to be famous. There's a trace of wistfulness in her voice, and I open my mouth to say automatically, maybe you will be one day. Then, as the truth hits me, I close it again, feeling a bit sad. There isn't a one day for her anymore, is there? By now, the car is purring up the drive, and I can't help gazing out of the window like a child. I've only been to Uncle Bill's mansion a few times in my life, and I always forget how impressive and intimidating it is. It's a Georgian house with about 15 bedrooms and a basement with 2 swimming pools in it. 2! I'm not going to get nervous, I tell myself firmly. It's just a house. He's just a person. But oh gosh, everything's so grand. There are lawns everywhere, and fountains sprinkling, and gardeners snipping hedges. As we approach the entrance, a tall guy in a black suit and shades with a discreet earpiece is coming down the spotless white steps to greet me. Laura, he clasps my hand as though we're old friends. I'm Damien. I work for Bill. He's looking forward to seeing you. I'll take you around to the office wing. As we start to crunch over the gravel, he adds lightly, what exactly was it you wanted to talk to Bill about? Nobody seems very clear. It's, private, sorry. No problem. He flashes a smile. Great, just approaching Sarah. He says into his earpiece. The side building is as impressive as the main house, just in a different style. All glass and modern art, and a stainless steel water feature. As if by clockwork, a girl comes out to greet us, also dressed immaculately in a black suit. Hi, Laura. Welcome. I'm Sarah. I'll leave you here, Laura. Damien flashes me his teeth again and crunches back over the gravel. So, it's an honor to meet Bill's niece, says Sarah. She leads me into the building. Well, thanks. I don't know if Damien mentioned this. Sarah ushers me to a seat and sits down opposite me. But I was wondering if you could tell me the subjects you'd like to discuss with Bill. It's something we ask all his visitors, so we can prep him, do any necessary research. It makes life easier for everyone. Damien did ask, but it's kind of private, sorry. Sarah's pleasant smile doesn't falter for an instant. If you could just indicate the broad areas, give us an idea. I don't really want to get into it. I can feel myself flushing. I'm sorry, it's kind of a family thing. Of course, that's fine. Excuse me a moment. She moves away into a corner of the reception area, and I can see her muttering into her earpiece. Sadie glides over to Sarah for a minute or two, then appears back by my side. To my astonishment, she's cracking up with laughter. What is it? I demand under my breath. What was she saying? She said she didn't think you looked violent, but maybe they should call extra security anyway. What? I can't help exclaiming, and Sarah immediately whips around to survey me. Sorry, I waved at her cheerfully, just sneezed. What else did she say? As Sarah turns away again. Apparently you have a grudge against Bill? Something about a job he didn't give you? Grudge? Job? I stare at her, baffled for a second, before the penny drops. The funeral, of course. The last time Uncle Bill saw me, I was announcing a murder in the middle of a funeral. He must have told everyone I'm a total psychopath. Isn't it a wheeze? Sadie giggles. It's not funny, I say crossly. They probably all think I've come to assassinate him or something. You realize this is all your fault. I hastily break off as Sarah approaches again. Hi, Laura. Her voice is bright but tense. So, one of Bill's team will sit in with you during the meeting just to take notes. Is that okay? Look, Sarah, I try to sound as sane and calm as possible. I'm not a nutter. I don't have a grudge against anyone. I don't need any notes taken. I just want to have a chat with my uncle one-to-one. 5 minutes. That's all I want. There's silence for a moment. Sarah still has a vivid smile pasted on, but her eyes keep swiveling to the door and back again. Okay, Laura, she says at last, we'll do things your way. As she sits down, I can see her touching her earpiece as though for reassurance. So, how's Aunt Trudy? I say conversationally. Is she here? Trudy's at the house in France for a few days, Sarah says at once. How about Diamante? Maybe we could have a quick coffee or something? I don't really want to have coffee with Diamante. I only want to prove how friendly and normal I am. You want to see Diamante? Sarah's eyes have gone even more swivelly. Now? Just for a coffee. She's around. I'll call her assistant. She leaps up, hurries away to the corner, and mutters in her earpiece, then almost immediately comes back to the seating area. I'm afraid Diamante's getting a manicure at the moment. She says maybe next time. Yeah, right. She never even put the call through. I'm feeling quite sorry for this Sarah, actually. She looks as nervous as if she's babysitting a lion. I have a wicked urge to yell, hands up, and see how quickly she throws herself to the floor. I love your bracelet, I say. Instead, it's really unusual. Oh, yes. She extends her arm warily and shakes the 2 little silver discs on their chain. Haven't you seen these yet? They're from the new 2 Little Coins line. There's going to be a stand of products in each LinkedIn's coffee shop starting next January. I'm sure Bill will give you one. There's a pendant, too, and t-shirts, gift sets of 2 Little Coins in a treasure box. Sounds great, I say politely. It must be doing well. Oh, 2 Little Coins is huge, she assures me earnestly. Huge. It'll be as big a brand as LinkedIn's. You know it's going to be a Hollywood film? Uh-huh. I nod. Pierce Brosnan as Uncle Bill, I heard. And of course the reality show will be a big hit. It's such an empowering message. I mean, anyone can follow Bill's path. Sarah's eyes are shining, and she seems to have forgotten all about being scared of me. Anyone can pick up 2 Little Coins and decide to change their future. And you can apply it to families, businesses, economies. You know, lots of really senior politicians have called Bill since the book came out. They're like, how can we apply your secret to our country? She lowers her voice reverentially, including the President of the United States. The President phoned Uncle Bill? I'm awed in spite of myself. His people, she shrugs and shakes her bracelet out. We all think Bill should get into politics himself. He has so much to offer the world. It's such a privilege to work for him. She's totally signed up for the cult. I glance at Sadie, who's been yawning throughout Sarah's speech. I'm going to explore, she announces, and before I can say anything, she's disappeared. Okay, Sarah's listening to her earpiece. On our way. Bill's ready to see you, Laura. She gets up and beckons me to follow. We make our way down a corridor, lined with what looks suspiciously like real Picassos, then pause in another, smaller reception area. I tug at my skirt and take a few deep breaths. It's ridiculous to feel nervous. I mean, this is my uncle. I have a right to see him. There's no need to feel anything except relaxed. I can't help it. My legs are wobbling. I think it's because the doors are so big. They're not like normal doors. They tower up to the ceiling, great blocks of pale polished wood that swing open silently every now and again as people come in and out. Is that Uncle Bill's office? I nod at the door. That's the outer office. Sarah smiles. You'll be seeing him in the inner office. She listens to her earpiece again, suddenly alert, then murmurs, bringing her in now. She pushes open one of the tall doors and leads me through an airy, glass-walled office space with a couple of cool-looking guys at workstations, one of whom is wearing a Two Little Coins t-shirt. They both look up and smile politely, but don't stop typing. We reach another set of giant doors and pause. Sarah glances at her watch, then, as though timing it to the second, knocks and pushes the door open. It's a vast, light room with a vaulted ceiling and a glass sculpture on a podium and sunken seating area. 6 men in suits are getting up from chairs as though finishing a meeting, and there, behind his massive desk, is Uncle Bill, looking lithe in a gray polo neck and jeans. He's more tan than he was at the funeral. His hair is as glossy black as ever, and he's cradling a Lington's coffee mug in one hand. Thanks very much for your time, Bill, one of the men is saying fervently. We appreciate it. Bill doesn't even reply, just lifts a hand like the Pope. As the men file out, 3 girls in black uniforms appear from nowhere and clear the table of coffee cups in about 30 seconds flat, while Sarah ushers me forward to a chair. All of a sudden, she looks nervous, too. Your niece, Laura, she murmurs to Uncle Bill. She wants a 1-to-1. Damien made the decision to give her 5 minutes, but we don't have any prep notes. We have Ted standing by. Sarah lowers her voice further. I can call extra security. Thanks, Sarah. We'll be fine. Uncle Bill cuts her off and turns his attention to me. Laura, have a seat. As I sit down, I'm aware of Sarah moving away and the soft swoosh of the door closing behind me. There's silence, apart from Uncle Bill tapping something into his BlackBerry. To pass the time, I look at the wall of pictures of Uncle Bill with famous people. Madonna, Nelson Mandela, the whole England football team. So, Laura, he looks up. What can I do for you? I clear my throat. I had all sorts of punchy openers prepared, but now that I'm actually here, in the inner sanctum, they're all drying up on my lips. I feel paralyzed. This is Bill Lington we're talking about. Huge, jet-setting tycoon with a million important things to do. He's telling the president how to run his country. Why would he go to an old people's home and take a necklace from an old lady? What have I been thinking? Laura, he frowns questioningly. Oh, gosh. If I'm going to do this, I need to do it. It's like jumping off the diving board. Hold your nose, deep breath, go. I went to Aunt Sadie's nursing home last week, I say in a rush, and apparently she had this visitor a few weeks ago who looked just like you, called Charles Reese, and it didn't make any sense to me, so I thought I'd come and ask you. I trail off. Uncle Bill is looking at me with as much enthusiasm as if I had whipped out a hula skirt and started dancing. Jesus Christ, he mutters. Laura, are you still claiming Sadie was murdered? Is that what this is about? Because I really don't have time. He reaches for the telephone. No, that's not it. My face is boiling, but I force myself to persevere. I don't really think she was murdered. I went there because I felt bad that no one had ever shown any interest in her, when she was alive, I mean. And there was another name in the visitor's book, and they said the guy looked exactly like you, and I was just wondering, just wondering. My heart is pounding in my ears as I finish. Slowly, Uncle Bill replaces the telephone receiver, and there's silence. For a few moments, he looks as though he's weighing up exactly what to say. Well, it looks as though both of us had the same instincts, he says at last, leaning back in his chair. You're right, I did go see Sadie. My jaw drops in astonishment. Result, total instant result. I think I should become a private detective. But why did you use the name Charles Reese? Lara, Uncle Bill gives a patient sigh. I have a lot of fans out there. I'm a celebrity. There are a lot of things I do that I don't trumpet. Charity work, hospital visits. He spreads his hands. Charles Reese is the name I take when I want to stay anonymous. Can you imagine the fuss if it were known that Bill Langton had personally come to visit an old lady? He meets my eyes with a friendly twinkle, and for a moment I can't help smiling back. It kind of makes sense. Uncle Bill is such a rock star. Taking a pseudonym is the sort of thing he'd do. But why didn't you tell any of the family? At the service, you said you never visited Aunt Sadie. I know, Uncle Bill nods, and I had my reasons for that. I didn't want to make the rest of the family feel in any way guilty or defensive about not having visited themselves, especially your father. He can be prickly. Prickly? Dad's not prickly. Dad's fine, I say tightly. Oh, he's great, Bill says immediately. An absolutely fantastic guy. But it can't be easy being Bill Langton's big brother. I feel for him. Indignation surges through me. He's right. It's not easy being Bill Langton's big brother because Bill Langton is such an arrogant tosser. I should never have smiled at him. In fact, I wish there were a way to take smiles back. You don't need to feel sorry for Dad, I say as politely as I can. He doesn't feel sorry for himself. He's done really well in life. You know, I've started using your dad as an example in my seminars. Uncle Bill adopts a musing tone. 2 boys, same upbringing, same education. The only difference between them was one of them wanted it. One of them had the dream. He sounds like he's rehearsing a speech for some promotional DVD. Gosh, he's up himself. Who says everyone wants to be Bill Langton anyway? Some people's dreams would be not to have their face plastered across coffee cups all over the world. So, Lara, he focuses back on me. It was a pleasure to see you. Sarah will show you out. That's it? My audience is over? I haven't even got to the bit about the necklace yet. There's something else, I say hastily. Lara, I'll be really quick, I promise. I just wondered, when you visited Aunt Sadie... Yes, I can see him trying to keep his patience. He glances at his watch and touches a key on his keyboard. Oh gosh, how am I going to put this? Do you know anything about... I'm stumbling over my words. I mean, did you see or possibly take by accident a necklace, a long necklace with glass beads and a dragonfly pendant? I'm expecting another patronizing sigh, a blank look, and a dismissive comment. But I'm not expecting him to freeze. I'm not expecting his eyes to become suddenly sharp and wary. As I stare back, I feel almost breathless with shock. He knows what I'm talking about. He knows. The very next moment, the wariness has disappeared out of his eyes, and he's back to empty politeness. I could almost think I imagined that other necklace. A necklace? He takes a sip of coffee and types something on his keyboard. Do you mean something of Sadie's? The back of my neck is prickling all over. What's going on? I saw the recognition in his eyes. I know I did. Why is he pretending he doesn't know about it? Yes, it's an old piece. I'm trying to track it down. Some instinct tells me to act cool and unconcerned. The nurses at the home said it had disappeared, so I watch Uncle Bill sharply for a reaction, but his bland mask is perfectly in place. Interesting. Why do you want it? He asks lightly. Oh, no particular reason. I just saw a photo of Sadie wearing it at her 105th birthday. I thought it would be nice to find it. Fascinating. He pauses. Can I see the photo? I haven't got it on me, I'm afraid. This conversation is so weird. It feels like a game of tennis where we're both lobbing balls very gently into the air and resisting the urge to wallop a winner. Well, I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about. Uncle Bill puts his mug down with an air of finality. I'm pressed for time, so we'll have to leave it there. He pushes back his chair, but I don't move. He knows something about it, I'm sure he does. But what do I do? What options do I have? Lara. He's standing by my chair waiting. Reluctantly, I get to my feet. As we approach the door, it opens as though by magic. We're greeted by Sarah, with Damien hovering behind his blackberry yacht. All done, he says. All done. Uncle Bill nods firmly. Give my best to your dad, won't you, Lara? Goodbye. Sarah puts a hand to my elbow and starts gently edging me out of the room. My chances ebbing away. In desperation, I grip onto the door frame. It's a shame about the necklace, don't you think? I look directly at Uncle Bill, trying to provoke a response. What do you think happened to it? Lara, I'd forget about the necklace, says Uncle Bill smoothly. It was probably lost a long time ago. Damien, come in. Damien hurries past me, and the two men head to the other side of the room. The door is already closing. I stare after Uncle Bill, almost exploding with frustration. What's going on? What is with this necklace? What is it with this necklace? I need to speak to Sadie right now. This minute. I swivel my head back and forth, but there's no sign of her. Typical. She's probably found some hunky gardener to lust after. Lara, says Sarah with a tense smile, could you please remove your fingers from the door frame? We can't close the door. All right, I say, lifting up my hands. Don't panic. I'm not going to stage a sit-in protest. Sarah's eyes jump in fear at the word protest, which she immediately covers up with a fake little laugh. She should really give up working for Uncle Bill. She's way too nervous. Your car is waiting for you at the front. I'll take you there now. Damn, if she escorts me out, there's no way I can sidle off or poke around any drawers or anything. A coffee for the ride? Asks Sarah as we pass through the lobby. I quell an urge to say, yes, please, a Starbucks. No thanks. Well, it's been great to see you, Lara. Her fake gustiness makes me wince. Come back soon. Yeah, right. By which you mean please never step foot in this place again, ever. The limo driver opens the door. I'm about to step in when Sadie appears right in front of me, blocking the way. Her hair is a little disheveled and she's breathing hard. I found it, she says dramatically. What? I stop, foot halfway into the car. It's in the house. I saw it in the bedroom upstairs on a dressing table. It's here. My necklace is here. I stare at her, gripped. I knew it. I knew it. You're absolutely sure it's yours? Of course I'm sure. Her voice rises shrilly and she starts gesturing at the house. I could have picked it up. I tried to pick it up. Of course I couldn't. She clicks her tongue in frustration. Lara, is there a problem? Sarah's hurrying down the stairs again. Is something wrong with the car? Neville, is everything okay? She snaps at the driver. Everything's fine. He replies defensively and jerks his head at me. She just started talking to thin air. Would you like a different car, Lara? I can see it's taking Sarah a supreme effort to keep up her pleasant manner. Or to go to a different location. Neville can take you anywhere. Perhaps you'd like the use of him for the rest of the day? She really, really wants to get rid of me. This car is fine, thanks, I say brightly. Get in the car. I muster to say the other side of my mouth. Can't talk here. I'm sorry, Sarah frowns. Just on the phone, tiny earpiece. I tap my ear and quickly slide into the car. The car door clunks and we glide away toward the gates. I check that the glass partition is closed, then flap back and look at Sadie. This is unbelievable. How'd you find it? I just went looking. She shrugged. I looked in all the cupboards and the drawers and the safe. You went in Uncle Bill's safe? I'm agog. Wow, what's in there? Bits of paper and hideous jewels, says Sadie impatiently. I was about to give up when I walked past the dressing table and there it was. I can't believe it. I'm popping with anger. Uncle Bill just sat in front of me and said he didn't know anything about any dragonfly necklace. He's a lying liar. We have to make an action plan. As quickly as I can, I reach inside my bag for a notebook and pen. Something's going on, I say, writing an action plan at the top of the page. There has to be a reason he took it and a reason he's lying. I rub my brow in frustration. But what? Why is it so important to him? Do you know anything else about it? Does it have some kind of history or collector's value? Is this all you're going to do? Sadie's voice explodes. Talk, drone. We need to get it. You need to climb through the window and get it at once. I looked up from my notebook. It'll be quite easy, Sadie adds confidently. You can take off your shoes. Right. I'm nodding, but truth be told, I don't feel absolutely prepared for this. Break into Uncle Bill's house right now without making a plan. The only thing is, I venture after a moment, he's got lots of security guards and alarms and stuff. So what? Sadie's eyes narrow. Are you frightened of a few alarms? No, I say at once. Of course not. I bet you are, she cries derisively. I've never known such a ninny in all my life. You won't smoke because it's dangerous. You wear a safety belt in the motor because it's dangerous. You won't eat butter because it's dangerous. I don't think butter's dangerous, I retort indignantly. It's just, olive oil spread has got better fats. I trail off at the contemptuous look on Sadie's face. Are you going to climb in through the window and get my necklace? Yes, I say after only a split-second pause. Of course I am. Well, come on then. Stop the car. Stop bossing me about, I say resentfully. I was just about to. I lean forward and open the glass partition between us and the driver. Excuse me, I'm feeling carsick. Could you let me out, please? I'll go home by tube. I'm not dissing your driving or anything, I add hastily, as I see him frowning into the rearview mirror. You're great. Really? Smooth action. The car pulls over and the driver looks around dubiously. I'm supposed to take you home to your door. Don't worry, I say, clambering out. Honestly, I just need some fresh air. Thanks so much. I'm already on the pavement. I bang the door shut and give the driver a little wave. He shoots me one last suspicious glance, then does a 3-point turn and heads back toward Uncle Bill's house. As soon as he's out of sight, I start retracing my path, keeping unobtrusively to the side of the road. I round the corner, see Uncle Bill's gates ahead, and pause. The gates are closed, and they're massive. The security guard is there in his glass box. CCTV cameras are everywhere. You don't just march straight into Uncle Bill's house. I need a strategy. I take a deep breath and approach the gates, looking as innocent as possible. Hi, it's me again, Lara Langton, I say into the pedestrian intercom. I left my umbrella behind, silly me. After a moment, the guard opens the pedestrian gate and leans out of his window. I've spoken to Sarah. She doesn't know anything about an umbrella, but she's coming down. I'll meet her, save her the trouble, I say brightly and hurry past before he can protest. Okay, I'm past one hurdle. Tell me the minute he looks away, I mutter to Sadie out of sight of my mouth. Say now. Now, she says suddenly, and I dodge the side of the path. I take a few steps across the grass, then drop down, roll behind a hedge, and come to a stop like someone in an action film. My heart's thumping hard. I don't even care that I've run my tights. Through the hedge, I can see Sarah crunching swiftly down the drive, a perturbed expression on her face. Where is she? I hear her voice drifting up from the front gates. Saw her a moment ago. The guard sounds baffled. Ha. Actually, not ha. They might start looking for me with Rottweilers in a minute. Where is it? I whisper to Sadie. Guide me and keep a lookout. We start making our way over the lawn toward the house, dodging from hedge to water feature to prize-winning sculpture. I keep freezing as people walk down the drive, but so far no one spotted me. There. We turn the corner and Sadie nods at a set of French doors on the second-floor level. They're ajar and open onto a terrace with steps up to it from the garden. I won't need to clamber up the ivy after all. I'm almost disappointed. Keep guard, I mutter to Sadie. I creep toward the steps, slip off my wedges, and run up them silently. Cautiously, I approach the ajar French doors and catch my breath. There it is, lying on a dressing table just inside the room. A long double row of beads in shimmering yellow glass, and the most exquisite carved dragonfly, inlaid with mother of pearl and studded with rhinestones. It's Sadie's necklace. Iridescent and magical, just as she described it, although it's longer than I imagined, and a few of the beads are a little battered. As I gaze at it, I feel overcome by emotion. After all this time, after all the hunting, the hoping, after secretly wondering if it even existed anymore, here it is. Only a few feet away from me. I could practically lean over and touch it without even entering the room. It's stunning. I turn back to Sadie, my voice a little choked. It's absolutely the most beautiful thing I've ever... Get it! She's rolling her arms in frustration, her beads jingling. Stop talking. Get it! Okay. I swing the French doors open, take a tentative step inside, and I'm just reaching toward the necklace when I hear footsteps approaching the room. In what seems like a nanosecond, the door is thrown open. Shit, someone's coming in. I panic. I reverse onto the terrace and duck to one side. What are you doing? Sadie demands Sadie from below. Get the necklace. Someone's in there. I'll wait till they've gone. In an instant, Sadie is up on the terrace and poking her head through the glass in the room. It's a maid, she glares at me. You should have grabbed it. I'll get it in a minute when she's gone. Don't trust. Just keep a lookout. I back right against the wall, praying that the maid or whoever she is doesn't decide to come out on the terrace for a breath of fresh air, and madly thinking of excuses if she does. Suddenly my heart jumps as the French doors start moving, but they're not opening. They close with a firm clunk. The next thing I hear is the click of a key being turned. Oh no. Oh no. She's locked you out. Sadie darts into the room, then out again. Now she's gone. You're stuck. I rattle the French doors, but they're well and firmly locked. You idiot! Sadie is beside herself with fury. You absolute fool. Why didn't you just grab it? I was about to, I retort defensively. You should have gone to check if anyone was coming. Well, what are we going to do? I don't know. There's silence as we face each other, panting slightly. I need to put my shoes on, I say at last. I head down the steps and put on my wedges. Above, Sadie is still darting in and out of the room in frustration, as though she can't bear to relinquish her necklace. At last she gives up and joins me on the grass. For a few moments, neither of us meets the other's eye. I'm sorry I wasn't quicker at grabbing it, I mumble at last. Well, says Sadie, clearly making a supreme effort. I suppose it wasn't completely your fault. Let's go around the house. We may be able to slip in somewhere, go inside and see if the coast is clear. As Sadie disappears, I creep cautiously over the grass and start moving along the wall of the house. I'm making slow progress because every time I pass the window, I duck down and crawl on my stomach. Although that won't exactly help if one of the security guards comes along. There you are. Sadie pops out of the wall beside me. Guess what? Jeez, I clasp my chest. What? It's your uncle. I've been watching him. He's just been to his safe in his bedroom. He looked in it, but he couldn't find what he wanted. Then he banged it shut and started shouting for Diamante, the girl. Odd name. She wrinkles her nose. My cousin, I nod. Another of your great nieces. She was in the kitchen. He said I needed a private word and sent all the staff away. Then he demanded, had she been going in his safe and taking things? Then he said an old necklace was missing, and did she know anything about it? Oh my gosh, I stare back at her. Oh my gosh, what did she say? She said no. What did she say? She said no, but he didn't believe her. Maybe she's lying. Maybe that's her bedroom where the necklace was. Exactly. So we have to get it now before he realizes where it is and locks it away again. There's no one around. All the staff have gone out of the way. We can go through the house. I haven't got time to think about whether this is a good idea or not. My heart pumping, I follow Sadie to a side door and in through a laundry room as big as my whole flat. She beckons me through a pair of swing doors down a passage and holds up a hand as we reach the hall, her eyes widening warily. I can hear Uncle Bill shouting, his voice increasing in volume. Private safe. Personal security. How dare you? Code was for emergencies only. Not bloody fair. You never let me have anything. It's Diamante's voice, and it's getting closer. On instinct, I dart behind a chair and sink down, my knees trembling. The next moment, she strides into the hall wearing a strange asymmetrical pink miniskirt and a teeny tiny t-shirt. I'll buy you a necklace. Uncle Bill comes striding in after her. That's no problem. Tell me what you need. Damien will find it. You always say that, she shrieks at him. You never listen. That necklace is perfect. I need it for my next tutus and pearls show. My whole new collection is based on butterflies and insects and stuff. I'm a creative, in case you hadn't realized. If you're so creative, my love, says Uncle Bill with a sarcastic edge, why have I hired 3 designers to work on your dresses? For a moment, I'm gobsmacked. Diamante uses other designers? The next minute, I can't believe I didn't work that one out before. They're fucking assistants, she screams back. It's my vision, and I need that necklace. You're not using it, Diamante, Uncle Bill's voice is ominous. And you're never going in my safe again. You're going to give it back to me right now. No, I'm not. And you can tell Damien to fuck off. He's a git. She runs up the stairs, closely followed by Sadie. Uncle Bill looks so furious, it's as though he's not quite in possession of his faculties. He's breathing heavily and thrusting his hands through his hair as he gazes up the grand staircase. He looks so uncool and out of control, I almost want to giggle. Diamante! He shouts, you come back here. Fuck off! Comes a distant cry. Diamante! Uncle Bill starts to stride up the stairs himself. That's it. I won't have this. She's got it. Sadie's voice is suddenly in my ear. She's taken it. We need to catch her. You go around the back. I'll guard the front stairs. With scrambling legs, I get to my feet, run down the passage through the laundry room out onto the lawn. I sprint breathlessly around the house, not caring if anyone sees me, and stop dead in dismay. Shit. Diamante is in a black open-top Porsche, heading down the gravel at speed toward the front gates, which are hastily being opened by the security guard. No! I wail before I can stop myself. As Diamante pauses to exit, she flicks a V sign back at the house, and the next minute is out on the street. In her other hand, I can just see Sadie's necklace wrapped around her fingers, glittering in the sunshine. Chapter 13. There's only one possibility. They're not rhinestones, they're diamonds. The necklace is studded with rare, antique diamonds and worth millions of pounds. It's gotta be that. There's no other reason I can think of that Uncle Bill would be so interested in it. I've Googled all sorts of websites on diamonds and jewelry, and it's amazing what people will pay for a 10.5 carat D-colored diamond mined in 1920. How big was the biggest stone in the necklace? I say yet again to Sadie. About. Sadie sighs noisily. 1/2 inch or so. Was it very sparkly? Did it look flawless at all? That could affect its value. You're terribly interested in the value of my necklace all of a sudden. Sadie gives me a resentful look. I didn't think you were so mercenary. I'm not mercenary, I say indignantly. I was just trying to work out why Uncle Bill was after it. Why wouldn't he waste his time? He wouldn't waste his time unless it was valuable. What difference does it make if we can't lay our hands on it? We will lay our hands on it. I have a plan, and it's a pretty good one. I've been using all my detective skills in the few days since we got back from Uncle Bill's house. First of all, I found out about Diamante's next Tutus and Pearls catwalk show. It's this Thursday at the Sanderstead Hotel at 6:30 p.m. Private guest list. The only trouble was I couldn't see Diamante putting me on the private guest list in a million years, bearing in mind I'm not a photographer from Hello, or one of her celebrity chums, or have 400 quid to spend on a dress. So then came my masterstroke. I emailed Sarah in a friendly way and said I'd really like to support Diamante in her fashion venture, and could I come over and talk to Uncle Bill about it? Maybe I would just drop over the house on spec, I suggested. Maybe tomorrow! Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation mark. Added a few smiley faces for good measure. Sarah immediately emailed back that Bill was a little busy right now and I shouldn't come tomorrow, but she could talk to Diamante's personal assistant. And the next thing I knew, 2 tickets were biked to my door. Honestly, it's so easy to get what you want from people if they think you're a psycho. The only downer is that the second and crucial part of my plan talk to Diamante and persuade her to give me the necklace straight after the show, has failed so far. Her assistant won't tell me where she is or give me her mobile number. She did allegedly pass on a message, but I obviously haven't heard anything. I mean, why would Diamante bother to call her non-entity of a non-millionaire cousin? Sadie's tried going to Diamante's office in Soho to see if she can catch her and the necklace, but apparently Diamante never sets foot there. It's staffed by assistants, and all the clothes are made by some company in Shoreditch, so that's no good. There's only one thing for it. I'm going to have to go along to the show, wait until it's over, then grab Diamante and somehow talk her there and then into giving the necklace to me. Or, pinch it. With a sigh, I close down the jewelry website and swivel around to survey Sadie. Today she's wearing a silver dress, which apparently she desperately wanted when she was 21, but her mother wouldn't buy it for her. She's sitting on the sill of the open window, her feet dangling above the street below. The dress is backless except for 2 thin silver straps over her slender shoulders, and there's a rosette at the small of her back. Of all the ghost dresses she's worn, this is my favorite. The necklace would look amazing with that dress, I say impulsively. Sadie nods but doesn't say anything. There's a low, slung, dispirited cast to her shoulders, which isn't exactly surprising. We were so near to it, we saw it, and then we lost it. I watch her anxiously for a moment. I know Sadie hates droning on about things, quote unquote, but maybe she'd feel better if she talked just a little bit. Tell me again, why is the necklace so special to you? For a while, Sadie says nothing, and I wonder if she even heard the question. I told you, she says at last. When I wore it, I felt beautiful, like a goddess, radiant. She leans against the window frame. You must have something in your wardrobe that makes you feel like that. I hesitate. I can't honestly say I've ever felt like a goddess, or particularly radiant, come to that. As if she can read my thoughts, Sadie turns and surveys my jeans dubiously. Maybe you don't. You should try wearing something beautiful for a change. These are nice jeans. I've had them defensively. Maybe they're not beautiful exactly. They're blue. She's regained her spirit by now and shoots me a scathing look. Blue! The ugliest color in the rainbow. I see the whole world walking around with hideous blue legs. Why blue? Because, I shrug, nonplussed. Dunno. Kate has left the office early to go to the orthodontist, and all the phones are quiet. Maybe I'll leave too. It's nearly time anyway. I glance at my watch and feel a shot of anticipation. I adjust the pencil stuffed into my hair, stand up and check over my outfit. Quirky printed t-shirt from Urban Outfitters, cute little pendant of a frog, jeans and ballet pumps. Not too much makeup. Perfect. So, I thought we could go for a walk, maybe, I say super casually to Sadie. It's such a nice day. A walk? She peers at me. What kind of walk? Just a walk. Before she can say any more, I close down my computer, set the office answering machine, and grab my bag. Now that my plan is about to come to fruition, I'm quite excited. It only takes 20 minutes to get to Farringdon, and as I hurry up the tube steps, I glance at my watch. 5:45. Perfect. What are we doing? Sadie's suspicious voice follows me. I thought you said we were going for a walk. We are. Kind of. I half wish I'd ditched Sadie. The trouble is, I think I might need her in reserve if things get tricky. I head to the corner of the main road and pause. What are you waiting for? No one, I say a little too defensively. I'm not waiting for anyone. I'm just hanging out, watching the world go by. I lean casually against a pillar box to prove my point, then hastily move away as a woman approaches to post a letter. Sadie appears in front of me and scans my face, and suddenly inhales as she sees the book in my hand. I know what you're doing. You're trailing. You're waiting for Josh, aren't you? I'm taking control of my life. I avoid her eye. I'm showing him I've changed. When he sees me, he'll realize his mistake. You wait. This is a very bad idea. A very, very bad idea. It's not. Shut up. I check my reflection and apply more lip gloss, then blot it off. I'm not going to listen to a word Sadie says. I'm totally psyched and ready to go. I feel empowered. All those times I tried to get inside Josh's head, all those times I tried to ask him what he really wanted out of our relationship, he kept batting me away. But now finally I know what he wants. I know how to make things work. Ever since that lunch, I've totally transformed myself. I've kept the bathroom tidy. I've stopped singing in the shower. I've made a resolution never to mention anyone else's relationship ever. I've even looked at that William Eggleston photography book, but I think it would seem a bit of a coincidence to be actually holding it. Which is why I'm clutching a book called Los Alamos, another collection by him. Josh is going to see me so differently. He's going to be amazed. Now I just have to bump into him accidentally on purpose as he leaves his office, which is about 200 yards away. Keeping my eyes fixed on the entrance, I head toward a tiny alcove next to a shop where I have a good view of everybody as they head toward the tube station. A couple of Josh's colleagues hurry past, and I feel a clench of nerves in my stomach. He'll be here soon. Listen, I turn urgently to Sadie. You might possibly have to help me out a bit. What do you mean, help you? She says haughtily. Prompt Josh a bit. Tell him he likes me just to make sure. Why will he need telling? She retorts. You said he was going to realize his mistake when he saw you. He will, I say impatiently, but he might not realize it straight away. He might need a nudge, a kickstart, like old cars. I add in a moment of inspiration, like in your times, remember? You wound the handle round and round, and then suddenly the engine caught, and off it went. You must have done that millions of times. To motors, she says, not men. Same thing. Once he's up and running, everything will be fine. I know it. I catch my breath. Oh my gosh, there he is. He is sauntering along, his iPod in his ears, carrying a bottle of water and a new, cool-looking laptop bag. My legs are suddenly trembling, but there's no time to lose. I take a step out from my hiding place, and then another, and another, until I'm right in his path. Oh, I try to adopt a tone of surprise. Hi, Josh. Laura. He rips out his earphones and gazes at me warily. I'd completely forgotten you work around here. I plaster a bright smile on my face. What a coincidence. Yes, he says slowly. Honestly, he needn't look quite so suspicious. I was just thinking about you the other day. I continue hurriedly. About that time we went to the wrong Notre Dame. Do you remember when the GPS got it wrong? Wasn't it funny? I'm gabbling. Slow down. That's weird, says Josh after a pause. I was thinking about that the other day, too. His eyes alight on the book in my hand, and I can see the jolt of surprise. Is that Los Alamos? Oh, yes, I say carelessly. I was looking through this fantastic book called Democratic Camera the other day. The pictures were so amazing you just had to go and buy this. I pet it fondly, then look up. Hey, didn't you like William Eggleston, too? I wrinkle my brow innocently. Or was that someone else? I love William Eggleston, says Josh slowly. It was me who gave you Democratic Camera. Oh, that's right. I slap my head. I'd forgotten. I can see bewilderment in his face. He's on the back foot. Time to press home my advantage. Josh, I've been meaning to say. I give him a rueful smile. I'm sorry for all those texts I sent you. I don't know what got into me. Well, Josh coughs awkwardly. Will you let me buy you a quick drink just to make it up? No hard feelings? There's silence. I can almost see his thought processes. It's a reasonable suggestion. It's a free drink. She looks sane enough. Okay. He puts his iPod away. Why not? I shoot a triumphant look at Sadie, who is shaking her head and making death-like finger across the throat gestures. Well, I don't care what she thinks. I march Josh into a nearby pub, order a white wine for me and a beer for him, and find a table in the corner. We raise our glasses and sip, and I open some crisps. So, I smile at Josh and offer him the packet. So, he clears his throat, obviously feeling awkward. How are things? Josh, I lean my elbows on the table and look at him seriously. You know what? Let's not analyze everything. Gosh, I'm sick of people who analyze everything to death. I'm sick of unpicking conversations. Just live. Enjoy life. Don't think about it. Josh stares at me over his beer, looking totally confused. But you used to love analyzing. You used to read that magazine, Analyze. I've changed. I shrug simply. I've changed in so many ways, Josh. I buy less makeup. My bathroom is totally empty. I was thinking I might like to travel. To Nepal, maybe. I'm sure I remember him mentioning Nepal one of those times. You want to go traveling? He seems taken aback, but you never said? It came to me recently, I say earnestly. Why am I so unadventurous? There's so much to see out there. Mountains, cities, the temples of Kathmandu. I'd love to see Kathmandu, he says, looking animated. You know, I was thinking about going there next year. No, I beam at him. That's amazing. For the next 10 minutes, we talk about Nepal. At least Josh talks about Nepal, and I agree with everything he says, and the time just whizzes by. We both have color in our cheeks and are laughing as he glances at his watch. We look like a happy couple. I know, because I keep checking out our reflection in the mirror. I had better shoot, Josh suddenly says, looking at his watch. I've got a squash practice. It's been good to see you, Lara. Oh, right, I say, taken aback. Great to see you, too. Thanks for the drink. I watch in slight panic as he picks up his laptop case. This isn't how it was supposed to go. This was a good idea, Lara. He smiles and bends to kiss my cheek. No hard feelings. Let's stay in touch. Stay in touch? Have another drink. I try not to sound desperate, just a quick one. Josh considers for a moment, then looks at his watch again. Okay, a quick one. Same? He heads toward the bar. The minute he's out of earshot, I hiss, "Sadie!" and beckon her over from the bar stool where she's been sitting throughout, wedged between two businessmen with stripy shirted guts. "Tell him he loves me." "But he doesn't love you," says Sadie, as though explaining something very simple to someone very stupid. He does really. He's just scared to admit it, even to himself. But you saw us. We were getting on amazingly. If you only had a little nudge in the right direction. Please, please." I gaze at her entreatingly. "After everything I've done for you, please." Sadie gives an exasperated sigh. "All right." A microsecond later, she's at Josh's side, bellowing in his ear, "You still love Laura! You made a mistake! You still love Laura!" I can see him stiffen and shake his head, trying to rid himself of the noise. He brushes his ear a few times, breathes heavily, and rubs his face. At last I see him turn and survey me. He looks so dazed that if I wasn't feeling so anxious, I'd laugh. "You still love Laura. You still love Laura." As Josh carries the drinks over and sits down next to me, he seems transfixed. I shoot Sadie a grateful smile and sip my wine, waiting for Josh to declare himself, but he sits rigid, his eyes distant. "Is there something on your mind, Josh?" I prompt at last in a soft voice, "because if there is, you can tell me. I'm an old friend. You can trust me." "Laura?" He stops. I look desperately at Sadie for more help. He's nearly there. He's so nearly there. "You love Laura. Don't fight it, Josh. You love her." Josh's brow is clearing. He's drawing breath. I think he's going to... "Laura?" "Yes, Josh?" I can hardly manage the words. Go on. "I think I made a mistake." Josh swallows hard. "I think I still love you." Even though I knew he was going to say it, there's a huge romantic swell in my heart and tears start pricking my eyes. "Well, I still love you, Josh," I say, my voice trembling. I always did. I'm not sure if he kisses me or I kiss him, but suddenly our arms wrapped around each other and we're devouring each other. Parentheses, okay, I think I kissed him. Close parentheses. As we draw apart eventually, Josh looks even more dazed than before. "Well," he says after a bit. "Well," I lovingly mesh my fingers with his. "Laura, I have this squash thing." He glances at his watch, looking uncomfortable. "I need to..." "Don't worry," I say generously. "Go, we can talk later." "Okay," he nods. "I'll text you my new number." "Great," I smile. I won't bring up the fact that I think it was a total overreaction to change his mobile number just because of a few texts I sent him. We can talk about that another time. No hurry. As he flips open his phone, I glance over his shoulder and feel a jolt of sheer amazement. He's still got a photo of us on his screen, him and me, standing on a mountain in our ski wear at sunset. We're in silhouette, but I remember the moment vividly. We'd been skiing all day and the sunset was spectacular. We asked this German guy to take a picture, and he spent about half an hour lecturing Josh about the settings on his phone. And Josh kept the photo all this time. "Nice picture," I say in a deadpan, casual way, nodding at it. "Yeah," Josh's face softens as he gazes at it. "Makes me feel good whenever I look at it." "Me too," I say breathlessly. I knew it. He does love me. He just needed a nudge. He just needed a confidence boost. He just needed that inner voice to tell him it was okay. My phone burbles with the text, and Josh's number pops up on my screen. I can't help a tiny sigh of satisfaction. I've got him back again. He's mine. We head out of the pub, hands tightly clasped, and pause at the corner. "I'll get a cab," says Josh. "You want to?" I'm about to say, "Great, I'll share it with you." But then the new Laura stops me. "Don't be too eager. Give him space." I shake my head. "No thanks, I'm going the other way. Love you." I kiss his fingers one by one. "Love you," he nods. The cab stops and Josh bends to kiss me again before getting in. "Bye," I wave as it pulls off, then turn away, hugging myself, zinging all over with triumph. We're back together. I'm back with Josh. Chapter 14. I can never resist telling people good news. I mean, why not brighten someone else's life too? So, by the following morning, I've texted all my friends that Josh and I are back together, and some of his friends, just because I happen to have their numbers programmed in my phone, and the guy at Dial-Up Pizza. Parentheses, that was a mistake. He was pleased for me, though. Close parentheses. Oh my gosh, Lara! Kate's voice burst through the office door at the same time as she does. You made up with Josh? Oh, you got my text, I say nonchalantly. Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? It's amazing. I mean, it's incredible. She doesn't need to sound quite so surprised, but it's nice to have someone pleased for me. Sadie's such a downer on the whole thing. She hasn't said she's happy for me once, and every time I got a text back from one of my friends last night, she huffed. Even now, she's gazing disapprovingly at me from her perch on top of the filing cabinet. But I don't care, because I've got my most important phone call of all to make, and I'm so looking forward to it. I dial the number, lean back, and wait for Dad to pick up. Answering the phone makes Mom anxious because it might be kidnappers. Don't ask. Michael Lincoln. Oh, hi, Dad, it's Lara. I say in the casual tone I've been practicing all morning. I just thought I'd let you know that Josh and I are back together again. What? Says Dad after a pause. Yes, we bumped into each other yesterday, I say airily, and he said he still loved me and he'd made a huge mistake. There's another silence at the other end of the phone. Dad must be too gobsmacked to answer. Ha, this is such a sweet moment. I want to relish it forever. After all those weeks of people telling me I was sad and deluded and should move on, they were all wrong. So it looks like I was right, doesn't it? I can't resist adding, I said we were meant to be together. I shoot Sadie a gloating look. Lara, Dad doesn't sound as happy as I thought he would. In fact, he sounds pretty stressed, bearing in mind his younger daughter has found happiness in the arms of the man she loves. Are you absolutely sure that you and Josh... He hesitates. Are you sure that's what he meant? Honestly, does he think I've made it up or something? You can call him if you like. You can ask him. We bumped into each other and we had a drink and talked about stuff, and he said he still loves me. And now we're back together, just like you and Mom. Well, I can hear Dad breathing out. That's quite incredible. Wonderful news. I know. I can't help smiling complacently. It just goes to show. Relationships are complicated things, and other people shouldn't barge in and think they know all about it. Indeed, he says faintly. Poor Dad, I think I've practically given him a heart attack. Hey, I cast around for something to cheer him up. Dad, I was thinking about our family history the other day, and I was wondering, have you got any pictures of Great Aunt Sadie's house? Sorry, darling? Dad sounds like he's having trouble keeping up. The old family house that burned down in Archbury. You showed me a photograph of it once. Have you still got it? I think so. Dad's voice is wary. Laura, you seem a bit obsessed by Great Aunt Sadie. I'm not obsessed, I say resentfully. All I'm doing is showing a little interest in my heritage. I thought you'd be pleased. I am pleased, says Dad quickly. Of course I am. I'm just surprised. You've never been interested in family history before. This is a fair point. He brought out some old photo album last Christmas and I fell asleep while he was showing it to me. In my defense, I had eaten quite a few liqueur chocolates. Yes, well, people change, don't they? And I'm interested now. I mean, that photo's the only thing we've got left of the house, isn't it? Not quite the only thing, says Dad. You know, the oak desk in the hall came from that house. In our hall? I stare at the phone in surprise. I thought everything was lost in the fire. A very few things were salvaged. I can tell Dad's relaxed a little. They were put in a storage unit and left there for years. Nobody could face dealing with it. It was Bill who sorted it all out after your grandfather died. He was at a loose end. I was doing my accountancy exams. Strange to imagine, but Bill was the idler in those days. Dad laughs, and I can hear him take a sip of coffee. That was the year your mother and I got married. That oak desk was our first piece of furniture. It's a wonderful piece of original Art Nouveau. Wow. I'm riveted by this story. I've walked past that desk about 10,000 times, but it's never once occurred to me to wonder where it came from. Maybe it was Sadie's own desk. Maybe it has all her secret papers in it. As I put the phone down, Kate is working industrially. I can't send her on yet another coffee run, but I'm desperate to tell Sadie what I just heard. Hey, Sadie, I type in a new document. Not everything was lost in the fire. There were some things in a storage unit. Guess what? We have a desk from your old house. Maybe it has a hidden drawer full of all her lost treasures, I'm thinking excitedly. And only Sadie knows how to open it. She'll tell me the secret code, and I'll gently tug it open and blow off the dust, and inside will be something really cool. I gesticulate at her and point at my screen. I know that desk was saved, says Sadie after reading my message. She sounds deeply unimpressed by the news. I was sent a list of things at the time in case I wanted to claim anything. Hideous crockery, dull bits of pewter, dreadful furniture. None of it interested me. It's not dreadful furniture, I type, a little indignantly. It's a wonderful piece of original Art Nouveau. I look up at Sadie and she's sticking a finger down her throat. It's minging, she says, and I can't help giggling. Where'd you learn that word? I type. Picked it up. Sadie gives an insistent shrug. So I told my dad about Josh, I type, and look at Sadie for a reaction, but she rolls her eyes and disappears. Fine, be like that. I don't care what she thinks anyway. I lean back, take out my mobile, and flip to one of Josh's texts. I feel all warm and content, as though I just drank a cup of hot chocolate. I'm back with Josh, and all's right with the world. Maybe I'll text Josh and tell him how pleased everyone is for us. No, I don't want to hound him. I'll leave it in half an hour or so. Across the room, the phone rings, and I wonder if maybe it's him. But a moment later, Kate says, I'll put you on hold, and looks up anxiously. Laura, it's Janet from Leonidas Sports. Shall I put her through? Oh, the hot chocolate drains out of my stomach. Yes, okay, I'll speak to her. Just give me 30 seconds. I psych myself up, then lift the phone with my breeziest top recruitment consultant manner. Hi, Janet, how are you? Did you get the shortlist all right? Kate emailed the shortlist to Janet last night. I should have known she'd call. I should have gone out for the day or pretended to have lost my voice. I hope you're excited, but as excited by it as I am, I add brightly. No, I'm not, Janet says in her usual hoarse, peremptory tones. Laura, I don't understand. Why is Clive Hoxton on the list? Clive, I say, trying to sound confident. What a man, what a talent. Okay, so here's the thing. I know my lunch with Clive didn't end brilliantly, but the truth is he'd be perfect for the job. And I might be able to talk him around before the interview, so I put him on the list anyway, with provisional after his name in small letters. Clive's a really bright executive, Janet, and I launch into my spiel. He's experienced in marketing, very dynamic, ripe for a move. I know all that, Janet cuts me off, but I bumped into him at a reception last night. He said he'd made it clear he wasn't interested. In fact, he was shocked to learn he was on the short list. Fuck. Really? I summoned tones of astonishment. How strange, how very strange. It's not the impression I got at all. As far as I was aware, we had a great meeting. He was enthusiastic. He told me he walked out, said Janet flatly. Well, he left the meeting, obviously, I cough. As we both did. You could say we both walked out. He told me you were on the phone to another client throughout, and he never wanted to do business with you again. My face flushes red. Clive Hoxton is a mean sneak. Well, I clear my throat, Janet. I'm baffled. All I can say is we must have had mixed messages. What about this Nigel Rivers? Janet has clearly moved on. Is he the man with the dandruff applied to us once before? He's a lot better these days, I say hastily. I think he's using Head and Shoulders. You know our MD has strong views on personal hygiene. I was not aware of that, Janet. I'll make a note of it. And what about this Gavin Minern? Very, very talented. I lie at once. A very talented, creative guy who has been overlooked. His resume doesn't reflect his wealth of experiences. Janet sighs. Laura. I stiffen with apprehension. Her tone is unmistakable. She's going to fire me right now. I can't let it happen. I can't while we finished. And of course, I have another candidate, I hear myself saying in a rush. Another candidate? You mean not on the list? Yes, much better than any of the others. In fact, I'd say this candidate is definitely your person. Well, who is it? Says Janet suspiciously. Why don't I have the details? Because I need to firm things up first. I'm crossing my fingers so hard they hurt. It's all very confidential. This is a high-profile person we're talking about, Janet. Very senior, very experienced. Believe me, I'm excited. I need a name, she barks angrily. I need a resume. Laura, this is all highly unprofessional. Our in-house meeting is on Thursday. Can I speak to Natalie, please? No, I say in panic. I mean, Thursday. Absolutely. You'll have all the information on Thursday, I promise. And all I can say is you'll be bowled over by the caliber of this particular candidate. Janet, I must dash. Great to talk. I put the phone down, my heart thumping. Shit. What am I going to do now? Wow. Kate looks up, eyes shining. Laura, you're such a star. I knew you'd do it. Who's this amazing high-profile candidate? There isn't one, I say desperately. We have to find one. Right. Kate starts looking urgently around the office as though a top-level marketing executive might be hiding in the filing cabinet. Where? I don't know. I thrust my fingers through my hair. There aren't any. There's a shrill electronic burble as my phone receives a text, and I grab it, hoping for one mad moment that it's a top marketing executive asking me if I have any jobs in sports retail going. Or maybe Josh asking me to marry him. Or maybe Dad saying he now realizes I was right all along and would like to apologize for ever having doubted me. Or even Diamante, saying she doesn't need that old dragonfly necklace after all. Should she send it around by courier? But it's none of them. It's Natalie. Hi, babe. I'm doing some yoga at the beach. It's so mellow here. I've sent you a pic. Look at the view. Awesome, huh? Natalie, XXXX. P.S. Everything okay in the office? I feel like hurling it out the window. By 7 o'clock, my neck is aching and my eyes are red-rimmed. I made a new emergency long list of candidates using old issues of Business People, the internet, and a copy of Marketing Week. I made Kate run out and buy, but none of them will even take my call, let alone talk about a job, let alone allow me to quickly slap them onto a short list. I have less than 48 hours. I'm going to have to invent a top marketing director, or impersonate one. On the plus side, they had a half-price offer on Pinot Grigio at Oddmans. The minute I get home, I turn on the TV and start glugging down the wine at speed. By the time EastEnders starts, I've got through half a bottle. The room is swinging from side to side, and my work troubles are receding nicely. After all, all that really matters is love, isn't it? You have to get things in perspective, in proportion. Love is the thing, not work, not marketing directors, not scary conversations with Janet Grady. I just need to cling on to that and I'll be okay. I'm cradling my phone in my lap, and every so often I turn on my texts to read them again. I've been texting Josh all day just to keep my spirits up, and he's sent 2 texts back. Quite short ones, but even so. He's at some dreary work conference in Milton Keynes, and he said he can't wait to be back home, which obviously means he can't wait to see me. I'm debating whether to send him another light-friendly text asking him what he's doing when I glance up and notice Sadie sitting on the fireplace in a pale gray chiffon dress. Oh, hi, I say. Where'd you get to? At the cinema. I watched 2 films. She shoots at me an accusing look. You know, it gets very lonely during the day. You're so preoccupied with your work. She'd be preoccupied if she had Janet Grady on her tail. Well, I'm very sorry I have to earn a living, I reply a little sarcastically. I'm sorry I'm not a lady of leisure and can't watch movies all day. Have you got the necklace yet? She says, right over me. Have you done anything more about it? No, Sadie, I say touchily, I haven't. I've had a few other problems today, as it happens. I wait for her to ask what those problems are, but she just gives a distant shrug. Isn't she even going to ask me what happened? Isn't she going to offer me any sympathy? Some guardian angel she is. Josh has been texting me, isn't that great? I add, to annoy her. She gives me a baleful look. It's not great. The whole thing is absolutely false. She glares at me and I glare back. Obviously neither of us is in a brilliant mood tonight. It's not false, it's real. You saw him kiss me, you heard what he said. He's a puppet, says Sadie dismissively. He said whatever I told him to say. I could have told him to make love to a tree, and he would have done. I've never known anyone so weak-willed. I barely had to whisper in him, and he jumped. She's so arrogant. Who does she think she is, God? That's rubbish, I say coldly. Okay, I know you nudged him a bit, but he would never say he loved me unless there was a basis of truth. He was obviously expressing what he really feels, deep down. Sadie gives a sarcastic laugh. What he really feels deep down. Darling, you're too amusing. He doesn't have any feelings for you. He does, I spit. Of course he does. He had my picture on his phone, didn't he? He'd been carrying it around all this time. That's love. It's not love. Don't be ridiculous. Sadie seems so sure of herself. I feel a swell of absolute fury. Well, you've never even been in love, so what would you know about it? Josh is a real man with real feelings and real love, something you know nothing about. And you can think what you like, but I really believe I can make things work. I really believe Josh has deep feelings for me. It's not enough to believe. Sadie's voice is suddenly passionate, almost savage. Don't you see that, you stupid girl? You could spend your whole life hoping and believing. If a love affair is one-sided, then it's only ever a question, never an answer. You can't live your life waiting for an answer. She flushes and swivels away. There's a sharp silence except for two EastEnders laying into each other on screen. My mouth has dropped open in astonishment, and I notice I'm about to tip wine all over the sofa. I write my hand and take a gulp. Bloody hell, what was that outburst all about? I thought Sadie didn't care about love. I thought she only cared about having fun and tally-ho in the sizzle. But just then she sounded as if... Is that what happened to you, Sadie? I say tentatively to her back. Did you spend your whole life waiting for an answer? Instantly she disappears. No warning, no see you later. She just vanishes. She can't do this to me. I have to know more. There's got to be a story here. I switch off the TV and call loudly into thin air. All my annoyance has evaporated. I'm consumed by curiosity instead. Sadie, tell me. It's good to talk about things. The room is silent, but somehow I'm sure she's still there. Come on, I say, wheedling. I've told you everything about me, and I'm your great niece. You can trust me, I won't tell anyone. Still nothing. Whatever, I shrug. Thought you had more guts than that. I do have guts. Sadie appears in front of me, looking furious. So tell me. Sadie's face is motionless, but I can see her eyes flickering to me and away again. There's nothing to tell, she says finally, her voice low. It's simply that I do know what it's like to think you're in love. I know what it's like to squander all your hours and all your tears and all your heart on something which turns out to be nothing. Don't waste your life, that's all. That's all? Is she kidding? She can't leave it there. There was a something. What was the something? What happened? Did you have a love affair? Was there some guy when you were living abroad? Sadie, tell me. For a moment, Sadie looks as though she's not going to answer or else disappear again. Then she sighs, turns away, and walks toward the mantelpiece. It was a long time ago, before I went abroad, before I was married. There was a man. The big row with your parents, I suddenly put two and two together. Was that because of him? Sadie tilts her head forward about a millimeter in assent. I should have known it was a man. I try to picture her with a boyfriend, some dapper 20s guy in a boater, maybe, with one of those old-fashioned mustaches. Did your parents catch you together or something? Were you Barney mugging? No, she burst into laughter. So what happened? Tell me, please. I still can't quite get over the fact that Sadie's been in love. After giving me such a hard time about Josh, after pretending she didn't care about anything. They found sketches. Her laughter dies away and she hugs her skinny chest. He was a painter. He liked to paint me. My parents were scandalized. What's wrong with him painting you? I say, puzzled. They should have been pleased. I mean, it's a compliment, an artist wanting to. Naked. Naked? I'm gobsmacked and kind of impressed. I would never pose naked for a painting, not in a million years. Not unless the painter could do some kind of airbrushing. Brushing, maybe, whatever artists do. I had a drape over me, but even so, my parents... Sadie presses her lips together. That was a dramatic day, the day they found the sketches. My hand is clapped over my mouth. I know I shouldn't laugh. I know it's not really funny, but I can't help it. So they saw you... They became absolutely hysterical. She gives a tiny snort, almost a laugh. It was funny, but it was dreadful, too. His parents were as angry as mine. He was supposed to be going into law. She shakes her head. He would never have made a lawyer. He was a great big shambles of a man. He painted all night and drank wine and smoked gaspers back to back, stubbed them out on his palate. We both did. I used to spend all night with him in his studio, in his parents' shed. I used to call him Vincent after Van Gogh. He called me Mabel. She gives another tiny snort. Mabel? I wrinkle my nose. There was a maid at his house called Mabel. I told him I thought it was the ugliest name I've ever heard, and they should make her change it. So he instantly started calling me Mabel, cruel beast that he was. Her tone is half jokey, but there's a strange flickering in her eye. I can't tell if she wants to remember all this or not. Did you... I begin, then chicken out before I can finish the question I wanted to ask. Did you really love him? But Sadie's lost in her own thoughts anyway. I used to creep out of the house when everyone was asleep, climb down the ivy. She trails away, her eyes distant. Suddenly she looks really sad. When we were discovered, everything changed. He was sent to France to some uncle to get it all out of his system, as if anyone could ever stop him painting. What was his name? His name was Stephen Nettleton. Sadie breathes out heavily. I haven't said that name aloud for 70 years at least. 70 years? So what happened after that? We were never in touch with each other ever again, says Sadie matter-of-factly. Why not? I say in horror. Didn't you write to him? Oh, I wrote. She gives a brittle smile that makes me wince. I sent letter after letter to France, but I never heard from him. My parents said I was a naive little simpleton. They said he'd use me for what he could get. I wouldn't believe them at first, hated them for saying it, but then... She looks up, her chin set as though defying me to pity her. I was like you. He does love me, he really does. She puts on a mocking, high-pitched voice. He'll write, he'll come back for me, he loves me. Do you know how I felt when I finally came to my senses? There's a taut silence. So, what did you do? I hardly dare speak. Got married, of course. I can see the flash of defiance. Stephen's father conducted the service. He was our vicar. Stephen must have known, but he didn't even send a card. She lapses into silence, and I sit there, my thoughts teeming. She got married to a waistcoat guy out of revenge. It's obvious. It's awful. No wonder it didn't last. I'm totally deflated. I wish I hadn't pressed Sadie so hard now. I didn't want to stir up all these painful memories. I just thought she'd have some fun, juicy anecdote, and I could find out what sex was like in the 1920s. Didn't you ever think about following Stephen to France? I can't help asking. I had my pride. She gives me a pointed look, and I feel like retorting. Well, at least I got my guy back. Did you keep any of the sketches? I'm desperately casting around for an upside. I hid them, she nods. There was a big painting, too. He smuggled it to me just before he left for France, but I hid it in the cellar. My parents had no idea, but then, of course, the house was burned and I lost it. Oh, gosh, I sag in disappointment. What a shame. Not really, I didn't care. Why should I care? I watched her for a minute, pleating her skirt over and over, obsessively, her eyes busy with memories. Maybe he never got your letters, I say hopefully. Oh, I'm sure he did. There's an edge to her voice. I know they went into the post. I had to smuggle them out of the house and into the postbox myself. I can't bear this smuggling letters, for gosh sakes. Why didn't they have mobile phones in the 1920s? Think how many misunderstandings in the world could have been avoided. Archduke Ferdinand could have texted his people, "I think a word is following me," and he wouldn't have got assassinated. World War I wouldn't have happened, and Sadie could have called her man. They could have talked it through. Is he still alive now? I'm gripped by irrational hope. We could track him down. We could Google him. We could go to France. I bet you'd find him. He died young. Sadie cuts me off, her voice remote. 12 years after he left England, they brought home his remains and had a funeral in the village. I was living abroad by then. I wasn't invited anyway, and I wouldn't have gone. I'm so horrified I can't reply. Not only did he leave her, he died. This is a rubbish story with a terrible ending, and I wish I'd never asked. Sadie's face is drawn as she gazes out of the window. Her skin seems paler than ever, and there are shadows under her eyes. In her silver gray dress, she looks like a vulnerable little wisp. I feel tears spring to my eyes. She loved this artist, it's obvious. Underneath all the bravado and the backchat, she really loved him. All her life, probably. How could he not have loved her back? Bastard. If he were alive now, I'd go and find him and beat him up. Even if he was some quavering million-year-old man with 20 grandchildren. It's so sad, I rub my nose. It's just so sad. It's not sad, she retorts at once, her old flippant air returning. It's the way things are. There are other men, there are other countries, there are other lives to live. But that's what I know. She suddenly rounds on me. I know, and you have to believe me. Know what? I'm not following her at all. Believe what? You'll never work things out with your chap, your Josh. Why? I glare back at her defensively, trust her to bring Josh and turns away, hugging her knees. I can see the bony line of her spine through her dress. But if he doesn't want you back, you might as well wish the sky were red. Chapter 15. I'm not panicking. Even though it's Wednesday and I still don't have a solution and Janet Grady is on the warpath, I'm kind of beyond panic. I'm in an altered state, like a yogi. I've been dodging calls from Janet all day. Kate's told her I'm in the loo, at lunch, trapped in the loo, and then at last I heard her saying desperately, I can't disturb her, I really can't disturb her. Janet, I don't know who the candidate is. Janet, please don't threaten me. She put the phone down, shaking. Apparently, Janet's in a vicious mood. I think she's become a bit obsessed by the shortlist. So am I. Resumes are swimming in front of my eyes, and the phone feels like it's welded to my ear. Yesterday, I had a flash of inspiration. At least it felt like inspiration. Maybe it was just desperation. Tanya. She's tough and hard and iron-like in all those scary qualities. She'd be a total match for Janet Grady. So I called up and casually asked if she'd thought about returning to work now that the twins turned 2. Had she thought about moving into marketing, maybe? In sportswear, perhaps? Tanya was quite senior at Shell before she had the boys. I bet her resume looks really impressive. But I'm on a career break, she objected. Magda, not those fish fingers. Look in the bottom drawer of the freezer. You've had enough of a break, surely. A woman with your talents. You must be dying to get back to work. Not really. But your brain will go soggy. It won't go soggy. She sounded affronted. You know, I do Suzuki music every week with the boys. It's stimulating for both children and parents, and I met some other great moms there. You're telling me you'd rather do Suzuki music and drink cappuccinos than be a top marketing director? I tried to inject an incredulous note, even though I would 1,000,000 times rather be doing Suzuki music and drinking cappuccinos right now than dealing with all this. Yes, she said flatly, I would. Why are you approaching me anyway, Laura? Suddenly her voice was more alert. What's going on? Have you got a problem? Because you can always talk to me about it, you know. Things are going Wrong. Oh gosh, not the fake sympathy. Nothing's going wrong. Just trying to do my big sister a favor. I left it a moment or two before adding casually, so those mums you've met at Suzuki Music, none of them used to be a top marketing director, did they? You'd think out of 8 formerly professional mothers, there would have been one marketing director with retail experience who wanted to return to work at once, you'd think. Anyway, so much for that bright idea. In fact, so much for all my ideas. The only possibility I've found is a guy in Birmingham who might move if Leonidas Sports pays for his helicopter commute every week, which is never going to happen in a million years. I'm doomed. All in all, you'd think now would not be the best time to be glammed up and going to a party. Nevertheless, here I am in a taxi, glammed up and going to a party. We're here at Park Lane. Sadie peers out of the window. Pay the driver, let's go. Bright flashes from cameras are filling our taxi, and I can hear the hubbub of people greeting one another. I see a group of about 10 people in evening dress arriving on the red carpet leading up to the Spencer Hotel, where the business people dinner is taking place. According to the Financial Times, 400 of the top business talents in London are going to be gathered here tonight. As one of those talents, I was well set to cancel for many, many reasons. 1, I'm back with Josh now and shouldn't be attending dinners with other men. 2, I'm too stressed out by work. 3, really stressed out. 4, Janet Grady might be here to yell at me. 5, Clive Hoxton ditto. Not to mention, 6, have to talk to Mr. American Frown all night. But then it hit me, 400 business people all together in one room. Some of them have got to be top-level marketing executives. And some of them have got to want a new job, surely. So this is my last-ditch plan. I'm going to find a candidate for Leonidas Sports tonight at the dinner. I double-check that my evening bag is well-stocked with business cards and glance at my reflection in the window. Needless to say, Sadie took charge of my outfit again. I'm in a black sequined vintage dress with fringed sleeves and beaded Egyptian-style medallions at the shoulders. Over this, I'm wearing a cloak. My eyes are heavily cold, KOHLED. I have a long gold snake bracelet and even a pair of original stockings, just like Sadie used to wear, apparently. And on my head is a close-fitting Diamante mesh cap, which Sadie found at some antique market. Tonight I feel a lot more confident, though. For a start, everyone else here will be dressed up, too. And even though I protested about the cap, I secretly think I look quite cool. I look kind of glam and retro. Sadie's dolled up too in a fringe dress, all turquoise and green with a peacock feather shawl. She's wearing about 10 necklaces, and on her head is the most ludicrous headdress, with a diamante waterfall cascading past her ear. She keeps flipping her evening bag open and shut and seems in a manic mood. In fact, she's been manic ever since she told me that story about her old dead lover. I've tried to ask her more about it, but no dice. She just glides away or vanishes or changes the subject. So, I've given up. Let's go. Her legs are twitching. I can't wait to start dancing. For gosh sake, she's obsessed. And if she thinks I'm dancing with Ed in the middle of the bar for a second time, she needs to think again. Sadie, listen, I say firmly. It's a business dinner. There won't be any dancing. I'm here to work. We'll find some, she says confidently. You can always find dancing. Yeah, whatever. As I get out, people in evening dress are everywhere, shaking hands confidently and laughing and posing for the cameras. Several of them I recognize from business people photo spreads. For a moment I feel all twingy with nerves, but then I glance at Sadie and raise my chin just like she does. So what if they're important? I'm as good as they are. I'm a partner in my own company, even if it consists of 2 people and a dodgy coffee machine. Hi, Laura. Ed's voice greets me from behind, and I turn. There he is, looking as square-cut and handsome as I might have expected. His dinner jacket fits him perfectly. His dark hair is brushed back perfectly. Josh never wears a standard DJ. He always wears something offbeat, like a Nehru jacket over jeans. But then, Josh is really cool. Hi. I take Ed's hand before he gets any idea of kissing me. Not that I think he would. He's looking my outfit up and down with a quizzical expression. You look very 20s. Well spotted, Einstein. Yes, well, I shrug. I like 20s clothes. No kidding, he says, deadpan. You look delicious, says Sadie, joyfully to Ed. She flings herself at him, wraps both arms around his chest, and nuzzles his neck. Oh, has she been doing that all night? We're approaching a small group of photographers, and at a signal from a lady with an earpiece, Ed stops with a slight roll of his eyes. Sorry, I have to do this, I'm afraid. Shit, I say, in panic as the camera flashes behind me. What do I do? Stand a little side on, he murmurs reassuringly. Chin up and smile. Don't worry, it's natural to freak out. I did media training for this stuff. The first time I was so stiff I looked like a Thunderbird puppet. I can't help smiling. Actually, he does look a bit like a Thunderbird with his square jaw and dark brows. I know what you're thinking, he says, as the flashes keep coming. I look like a Thunderbird anyway. It's okay. I can take the truth. I wasn't thinking that, I say unconvincingly. We move on to another group of photographers. How come you know about Thunderbirds anyway? Are you kidding? I saw it when I was a kid. I was obsessed. I wanted to be Scott Tracy. I wanted to be Lady Penelope. I glance up at him. So you're interested in one piece of British culture, at least? I'm not sure if the children's TV show counts as culture, but I can't resist making my point. Ed looks surprised and draws breath as though to answer, but before he can, the earpiece lady comes to escort us onward, and the moment's gone. As we head into the hotel, I'm looking around, trying to suss out all the people, trying to see if there's anyone I could approach about the Leonidas sports job. I have to circulate quickly before everyone sits down to eat. Meanwhile, Sadie has been glued to Ed's side, stroking his hair and rubbing her face against his, and running her hand over his chest. As we come to a halt in front of a reception table, she suddenly dips down and pokes her head into his dinner jacket pocket. I'm so disconcerted, I jump. Sadie, I mutter furiously behind Ed's back. What are you doing? Having a look at his thing, she says, standing up. There wasn't anything very interesting, just some papers and a pack of cards. I wonder what's in his trouser pockets. Her eyes focus on his crotch and a gleam appears. Sadie, I hiss in horror. No! Mr. Harrison. A woman in a chic navy cocktail dress has swooped down on Ed. I'm Sonia Taylor, head of PR at Dewhurst Publishing. We're still looking forward to your speech. Pleased to be here, Ed nods. May I introduce Lara Langton, He looks at me dubiously as though searching for the word date. Hello, Lara. Sonia turns to me with a warm smile. What line are you in? Oh, wow. The head of PR at Dewhurst Publishing. Hi, Sonia. I shake her hand in my most professional manner. I'm in recruitment. Do let me give you my card. No! An involuntary cry leaves my lips. Sadie has bent down and plunged her face into Ed's trouser pocket. Are you alright? Sonia Taylor looks concerned. I'm fine. My eyes are darting all around. Anywhere but at the sight in front of me. Fine, really, really fine. That's good. Sonia gives me a slightly strange look. I'll just find your name badges. Sadie's head reappears briefly, then plunges back in again. What's she doing in there? Lara, is something wrong? Ed turns to me with a puzzled frown. No, I manage. It's all good. All good. Goodness. Sadie's head suddenly reappears. I got a good view there. I clap a hand over my mouth. Ed eyes me suspiciously. Sorry, I managed. Just coughing. Here we are. Sonia turns back from the table and hands us each a badge. Ed, can I steal you for a moment to run through the order of events? She smiles stiffly, then leads Ed away. At once, I'd pull out my phone as camouflage and wheel around to Sadie. Don't do that again. You put me off. I didn't know where to look. Sadie raises her eyebrows wickedly. Just wanted to satisfy my curiosity. I'm not even going to ask what that means. Well, don't. That woman Sonia thinks I'm a complete flake now. She didn't even take my business card. So what? Sadie gives an insistent shrug. Who cares what she thinks? It's as if a switch flips inside me. Doesn't she realize how desperate I am? Hasn't she noticed me and Kate working 13-hour days? I care. I round on her furiously, and she shrinks back. Sadie, why do you think I'm here? I'm trying to build up my business. I'm trying to meet important people. I gesture around at the milling hall. I've got to find a candidate for Leonidas Sports by tomorrow. If I don't do something soon, we'll go bust. We practically are bust. I've been totally stressed out, and you don't even care. You haven't even noticed. My voice is suddenly shaking a bit, which must be because of all the double shot lattes I've drunk today. Anyway, whatever. Do what you like. Just stay away from me. Lara, Sadie starts to speak, but I stride away from her toward the double doors to the main banqueting room. Ed and Sonia are on the podium, and I can see her explaining the microphone to him. Around me, tables are filling up with dynamic-looking men and women. I can hear snatches of conversation about markets and retail sectors and TV campaigns. This is my big chance. Come on, Lara. Plucking up all my courage, I take a glass of champagne from a passing waiter, then approach a group of business types, all laughing merrily away about something. Hi, I plunge in brightly. I'm Lara Langton, LNN Executive Recruitment. Let me give you my card. Hello, says a friendly-looking man with red hair. He makes introductions around the group, and I hand cards to everyone. From their name badges, it seems they all work for software companies. So, does anyone here work in marketing? I ask casually. All eyes turn to a blonde-haired man. Guilty, he smiles. Would you like a new job? I blurt out. It's at a sports equipment company, great benefits, a really fab opportunity. There's silence. I can't breathe for hope. Then everyone bursts into laughter. "I like your style," says the red-haired guy and turns to his neighbor. "Can I interest you in an Asian software subsidiary? Only 10 years on the clock." One careful owner quips another guy, and there's more laughter. They think I'm joking. Of course they do. I hastily join in the laughter too, but inside I feel like a total moron. I'm never going to find a candidate. This was a ridiculous idea. After a little while, I excuse myself and move away to find Ed approaching me across the floor. "How's it going? Sorry to abandon you." "No worries, I was, networking." We're at table 1. He leads me toward the stage, and I feel a flicker of pride in spite of my low mood. Table 1 at the business people dinner. "Laura, I have a question," says Ed as we walk. "Please don't take this the wrong way." "I'm sure I won't," I say. "Fire ahead." "I just want to get something straight. You don't want to be my girlfriend, is that right?" "That's right," I nod. "And you don't want to be my boyfriend?" "No," he says, emphatically shaking his head. We've arrived at the table by now. Ed folds his arms and surveys me as though mystified. "So what are we doing here together?" Well, good question. I'm not sure how to answer. The truth is, there is no sane reason." "Friends?" I suggest at last. "Friends," he echoes doubtfully. "I guess we could be friends." He pulls out my chair and I sit down. By every place is a program with guest speaker Ed Harrison written across the bottom. "Are you nervous?" Ed's eyes flicker, then he gives me a tiny smile. If I were, I wouldn't say. I flick to the back of the program and feel a little kick when I find my own name in the list. Laura Langton, L&N Executive Recruitment. "You don't strike me as a typical headhunter," says Ed, following my gaze. "Really?" I'm not quite sure how to react. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? "You don't seem obsessed with money for a start." "I'd like to make more money," I say honestly, lots more. But I suppose that isn't the main point for me. I've always seen headhunting as a bit like... I break off, embarrassed, and take a sip of wine. I once told my headhunting theory to Natalie, and she said I was crazy and to shut up about it. "What?" "Well, like matchmaking. Matching the perfect person with the perfect job." Ed looks amused. That's a different way of looking at it. I'm not sure most people around here would say they were having a love affair with their jobs. He gestures around the crowded room. "Maybe they would if it was the right job, though," I say eagerly. "If you could just match people up with exactly what they want, and you'd be Cupid." "You're laughing at me." "I'm not." He shakes his head firmly. "I like it as a theory. How does it work in practice?" I sigh. There's something about Ed that makes me lower my guard. Maybe it's because I honestly don't care what he thinks of me. Not great. In fact, right now, pretty shit. That bad, huh? Even worse. I take another drink of my wine, then look up to see Ed watching me quizzically. "You're in a partnership, right?" "Yes." "So, how did you decide who to go into partnership with?" he says lightly. "How did that all happen?" "Natalie?" I shrug. "Because she's my best friend. I've known her forever, and she's a very talented top headhunter. She used to work for Price Bedford Associates, you know. They're huge. I know. He seems to think for a moment. Out of interest, who told you she was a very talented top headhunter? I stare at him, feeling slightly wrong-footed. No one had to tell me. She just is. I meet his skeptical gaze. What? None of my business, but when you and I first... Again, he hesitates as though searching for the word. Met? Yes, I nod impatiently. I did a little asking around. Nobody had even heard of you. Right, I take a slug of champagne. There you go. But I have a contact at Price Bedford, and he told me a little about Natalie. Interesting. I feel a sudden foreboding at his expression. Oh, really? I say defensively, because I bet they were pissed off to lose her, so whatever he said. Ed lifts his hands. I don't want to get into this. It's your partnership, your friend, your choices. Okay, now I have a bad feeling. Tell me. I put my glass down, all my bravado gone. Please, Ed, tell me, what did he say? Well, Ed shrugs. The story went that she lured a number of high-profile people onto a list for some anonymous blue-chip job that didn't exist. Then she tried to offer them up to some less than blue-chip client and claim this is a job she'd meant all along. The shit hit the fan big time. The senior partner at her firm had to step in, calm things down. That's why she was fired. Ed hesitates. But you knew this, right? I stare at him speechless. Natalie was fired? She was fired? She told me she decided to quit Price Bedford because she was undervalued and she could make far more money working for herself. Is she here tonight? He's looking around the room. Will I meet her? No. I eventually managed to find my voice. She's not around at the moment. I can't tell him she's left me in the lurch to run the company all by myself. I can admit that it's even worse than he thinks. Blood is ebbing in and out of my face as I try to process all this. She never told me she'd been fired. Never. I can still remember her first pitching the idea of our company to me over champagne at some fancy bar. She told me everyone in the industry was dying to set up with her, but she wanted to link up with someone she really trusted, an old friend, someone she could have fun with. She painted such an amazing picture and dropped so many big names. I was bowled over. I quit my job the next week and took out all my savings. I'm such a gullible idiot. I feel tears trembling on the brink of my lashes and quickly take a gulp of champagne. Lara? Sadie's shrill voice comes in my ear. Lara, come quick. I need to talk to you. I really don't feel like talking to Sadie, but nor can I keep sitting here with Ed looking at me with so much concern. I think his guess this is all a total shock to me. I'll be back in a second, I say over brightly, and push my chair back. I head across the crowded room, trying to ignore Sadie, who's pursuing me, jabbering in my ear. I'm very sorry, she's saying. I thought about it, and you're right. I was selfish and thoughtless. So I decided to help you, and I have. I've found you a candidate. A wonderful, perfect candidate. Her words interrupt my painful circular thought pattern. What? I turned. What did you say? You may think I'm not interested in your work, but I am, she announces. You need a trophy, and I found you one. Aren't I clever? What are you talking about? I've been listening in on everyone's conversation, she says proudly. I was starting to think it was hopeless, but then I heard a woman called Claire whispering to her friend in the corner. She's not happy. It's the power games, you know. Sadie opens her eyes at me impressively. Things are getting so bad at her place, she's thinking of quitting. Right, so the point is, she's the head of marketing, of course, Sadie says triumphantly. It was on her badge. I knew that's what you wanted, a head of marketing. She won an award last month, you know, but her new chief exec didn't even congratulate her. He's a total pig, she adds confidingly. That's why she wants to leave. I swallow several times trying to stay calm. A marketing head who wants to move jobs. An award-winning marketing head who wants to move jobs. Oh gosh, I would die and go to heaven. Sadie, is this for real? Of course. She's over there. Sadie gestures at the other side of the room. Is she into sports? Exercise? Brawny calves, says Sadie. I noticed them at once. I hurry to a nearby board and look through the list of guests. Claire Fortescue, Marketing Director of Shepherd Homes. I feel a jab of excitement. She was on my new long list. I wanted to talk to her, but I couldn't get through. Well, she's here. Come on, I'll show her to you. My heart is thumping as I cross the crowded room, searching all the faces for someone looking like a Claire. There. Sadie is pointing at a woman with glasses in a royal blue dress. She has cropped dark hair, a mole on her nose, and is on the short side. I probably wouldn't even have spotted her if Sadie hadn't pointed her out to me. Hi, I walk up to her and take a deep breath. Claire Fortescue? Yes, she says briskly. May I have a quick word? Well, okay. Looking a bit puzzled, Claire Fortescue allows me to draw her away from the group she's in. Hi, I give her a nervous smile. My name's Laura, and I'm a recruitment consultant. I've been meaning to make contact with you. Your reputation has spread, you know. Really? She looks suspicious. Of course. In fact, I must congratulate you on your recent award. Oh. A pink tinge comes to Claire Fortescue's ears. Thanks very much. I'm recruiting for a marketing director position right now. I lower my voice discreetly. I just wanted to mention it. It's a really exciting sportswear company with massive potential, and I think you'd be perfect. You'd be my number one pick. I paused, then add lightly, but of course you may be very happy where you are now. There's silence. I can't tell what's going on behind Claire Fortescue's glasses. My whole body is so tense I can't even breathe. Actually, I have been thinking about a move, she says at last, so quietly I can barely hear her.